Welcome to Mornings with Patty. Today I'm reading from One Day at a Time. The topic is On God's Will, and it's July 4th. Happy Independence Day. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul, writes the poet Henley. The first thing I notice is that he speaks of my fate, my soul. If I have been behaving as though I were captain and master of everyone else, would it be a good idea to turn my attention to managing myself? I must also recognize, however, that my fate and the state of my soul doesn't depend on me alone. I need the help of God to meet life's challenges. No human wisdom is adequate to make my life wholly satisfying and successful. God will take a hand in my life if I ask for its guidance and keep myself receptive to indications of its will for me. Years ago, I took too much on myself in trying to engineer solutions. Now I know I can only make right decisions by referring my problems to the divine. God must be part of my life. It already is. I will acknowledge God in all my ways, then it will be possible to rise above my difficulties. And Martin Buber writes, God dwells wherever man and woman lets him in. It was late May 2005, and I was at the end of my rope and broke again. I had my own business and it was in the tank, and the reason why it was in the tank is because I wasn't minding it. I wasn't minding my own business. Instead, I was rescuing and helping another organization because, they needed me, and I said, yeah. And at the end, I didn't get the recognition, I didn't get the value, I didn't get paid, and I was broke again. And I had this beautiful condo on the ocean with this beautiful view, and I had all these beautiful friends, but there was no place for me to go financially. My God. Anyway, as I reflect upon this, I looked over at the television, and I remember that Touched by an Angel was on at that particular time because we didn't have streaming back then, and it was a really cute little scenario. Touched by an Angel, this particular episode, there was a woman who owned a business, and Tess was in her little business moving things around, adjusting things, and Tess was the angel of God. And the woman comes in who owned the business and said, what are you doing? Why are you changing things? Keep things the way they are. And Tess replies to her, how can you have new possibilities if you're not willing to change? And I'm like, oh, there's my message. And I said, okay, God, I'm willing to change. I'm willing to do whatever it is that you want me to do. I'm willing to give up everything, including this beautiful condo on the ocean. Just tell me what you want me to do and where I need to be. So I took a nap, and it was about 20 minutes later that a friend of mine who used to work for me called me. Her name's Jennifer, and she says, hey, Patty, what's going on? And I tell her the drama, and she says, send me your resume, and I did. And the next thing you know, like 2 days later, she runs into a friend of hers that she used to work with at the Pentagon, and the friend says to her, I need somebody to replace me. I'm going to be gone for a while. And Jennifer just knew the right person. And so she gave her my resume, and by Tuesday, I was working at the Pentagon. Now, I could not have engineered that all by myself. And I'm so grateful to her because I had this amazing career for 10 years in Washington, D.C., starting with the Pentagon. This Florida girl working in the Pentagon, how cool is that? That's kind of how I was. But I was so grateful. I was also grateful for the angels around me because I had one friend who knew of my predicament and gave me enough money to get up to D.C., and I had another friend who arranged for me to live in her place free for a year so I could get back on my feet. I am surrounded by angels, and so are you. So whatever difficulty you're going through right now, I'm sharing my experience, strength, and hope. If you give your will, and you don't even need to have that higher contact with God, you just talk to God. God will hear you. And be willing to be receptive and notice the answers. And I don't know how all this works, but I do know it does work. So I'm sharing my experience, strength, and hope so that you will have your own experience, your own strength and hope, and just be willing to be open to the divine, because honest to God, we are here because of God. So how about relying on God? Anyway, that's my thing for today. I love you. I hope you get something out of this. If you do, like, subscribe, comment below. I love you. Talk to you tomorrow.